Right, now we've identified our author. This is the page for the information for the author. We've identified the author as Wright Associates, LLC. Now, because it's a firm, a corporation, a partnership, what have you, we're going to say, yes, this is a work made for hire, because the people that do these drawings, in our case, are actually employees of this corporation. So in general, for most architectural drawings, it's going to be a partnership, a corporation, where the individuals, even if it's the owner of that corporation, is employed by that corporation as an employee, and it's a work made for hire. So the organization itself is the owner. Now we fill in anything with a star on it, needs to be filled in. Year of birth and year of death only apply if you have an individual author, doesn't apply for an organization. Anonymous and pseudonymous, these two boxes, you can skip those. You don't need to do those. Okay, and we're going to hit save. And now we have several choices for our purposes, for architectural drawings. There's really only two choices, and you're going to want to do two separate applications where basically everything on the application is the same, except that in one case it's going to be an architectural work, and in the other case it's going to be technical drawings. So we're going to check technical drawings, and this particular copyright then will provide a registration for the drawings. The drawings are automatically protected from the moment that they're created, but this provides the registration for those drawings, and that prevents the drawings themselves from being copied by somebody who's not authorized to do that. For architectural works, that prevents somebody from going to the building that was built off of those drawings, measuring the building and doing a knockoff of that building. In the past, before the architectural works copyright came into being, the only thing that was protected was the drawings themselves, so prevented the drawings from being traced or Xeroxed or otherwise duplicated, but somebody could duplicate the building. Having an architectural work copyright prevents that, but you need two separate copyrights to do that. So we'll save that, and if you have another author, you might have two or three authors, you would hit new, but in our case we're going to continue, and now the question is who the claimant is. Generally, it's going to be the same as the author, unless the author has somehow transferred the rights to somebody else. So for instance, an owner hires an architect, and part of the agreement is that the owner is going to be assigned the copyright in the author's drawings, specifications, and whatever other instruments of service the architect and the engineer and so on have created. In that case, the claimant is going to be the owner, the author is going to be the architect, but generally what you're going to have is the same claimant and author. So here we're going to have, all right, so now I've filled in the name of our organization, who's the claimant, which also happens to be the architect, the address, and so forth. If this claimant is different than the author, then you need to fill in this bottom part down here, how the claimant came into ownership of the copyright. In other words, the transfer statement. And so by written agreement, by inheritance, whatever it might be. In this case, of course, we're going to leave it blank because that didn't happen. We're going to save that. And if there's any co-claimants, you do a new one, but generally from here you just hit continue. And on this page, this is the limitation of claim. In other words, the drawings you're submitting, are you copyrighting all of the stuff on those drawings, or are you excluding certain things? So you want to say what what you're excluding over here, if there's a previous registration. So for instance, if you're an architect and you previously registered your particular work, let's say it's an office building and you registered the initial design drawings. Now you come along and now you've done the construction documents. So you might want to exclude the prior work and indicate what the previous registration is. The other thing is if you're submitting the entire set and your engineer has registered the copyright in, let's say, the structural drawings, you could exclude that. Generally, if you're the architect and you've hired a separate engineer, you only want to register your architectural drawings anyway. If you register the entire set, you probably need to indicate that you're not the author of certain pieces of that, and you could do that here. New material over here. In our case, we're just registering a bunch of architectural drawings, and we've authored the entire set of drawings, so nothing on here applies, and we're just going to hit continue. Rights and permissions. This is for providing contact information. You don't need to put in your own name here. You can have, let's say you've hired an attorney to fill this stuff out for you. You don't want to be identified as the person to get calls from outside parties. So here you would indicate who that is. So I'm just going to fill in my name as the attorney for the architect, and anybody that wants information about this copyright can then contact me. Okay, so now I've filled in this box. I am the person that can be contacted. I'm just going to hit continue here. And now this is the page for telling the Copyright Office if there are any questions about this application, and often there are. You may not have gotten something correct, so the Copyright Office needs somebody to talk to. It could be the person filling this out. Maybe the architect has hired an attorney. Maybe the architect himself is this person. So whoever you want the Copyright Office to contact will put in that information. Anything with a star is required. So they need somebody's name on here, even if it's your own name. So at the very least, you need to fill in the name, email, and address. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to put in my name again. All right, so this is enough information. They really don't need the rest of it. It's probably a good idea to put in a phone number because they do call up. If you don't have a phone number, they'll contact you by email. And absolute last choice is sending a letter. That's not a good way to go. So let's hit continue. And now this question is, when the certificate is ready to be mailed out, when everything is in proper order, they've been paid, where does the certificate go? And we're going to put in the name of our architect in this case.